pressure, the moments that define yourself. Love is more than just lust or pleasure. I know that you will find yourself. You're not alone in the moments unknown. I'm finding my own in the moments unknown. You're not alone in the moments unknown. I've been holding everything inside, but you know right now this is my time. The moments unknown. I've been cooling out now, trying to keep that good vibe. You've been doing new things, but you know that's alright. I've been holding everything inside, but you know right now this is my time. The moments unknown. Moments unknown. The moments unknown. The moments unknown.
I'm grateful to be here with you this morning. I want to begin this particular time by thanking Reverend Dr. Kathy Ann for the opportunity to be here. Having been a pulpit minister, when you surrender your pulpit to another speaker, you really surrender your pulpit. Whoever steps into the pulpit could literally say anything they want, so it's nice to be trusted. It's on my heart to, I used to volunteer at Swedish Hospital when I was in high school in the bone marrow transplant area. And I'm particularly moved by your family. And what is your child's name? Harper? Cool. Life is a trip, man. That's just like this beautiful little baby. You know what I mean? And I don't understand that stuff. I'm glad she's healthy. You know what I mean? I think that's the highest prayer any of us can do at any moment in time. In fact, can we just do it together? Is just close your eyes, and anywhere, for anybody, if we're aware of somebody that's with a physical or mental ailment, ourselves or anybody, whether you personally know them or not, is just take a moment and just know health. That health is. As an idea, as a perfect idea, is just to know it. However you do, if it's just saying the word, or if it's picturing what health looks like to you, or whatever it might be, is just to take a moment and bless humanity with health. Because the chip on my shoulder, that just pisses me off. You know what I mean? It's just like, man. Sometimes my first stop is anger, like it's just not just. And then I got to wade through that and get to a point where I can see the truth, and that's just kind of how it goes. But I do live with a chip on my shoulder, and I've come to be grateful for it because it helps me be determined. And just like there's a certain determination because it's Pride Sunday, hopefully sooner rather than later, while we can continue to have a parade, parades are fun. But the reason for this parade, because it's like, wake up, everybody. It's just about love. So as we continue to heal through the veil of ignorance that, there's a reason there was something called affirmative action and things to help wake us up from our slumber, from our ignorance of like, to heal and to understand that life is meant to, its variety is beautiful. You know, it's supposed to be that way. Man, just cut away all the rules and the BS and the crap and just get down to it, and we're here to love each other. And who, you know, it's just ignorance. I'm ignorant to something. Just God bless me with insight and light so that I can be more aware of my ignorance and wake up. So I come to you this morning just wanting to be useful. That's the simplest prayer I can think of, is somehow I just want to be useful to you. I'm interested in delivering a gift. I don't know what it is, but it's something. I want to be useful. I want to share something with you, and I'm very interested in that. And I need something from you, and what that is that, because I'm very interested in receiving a gift as well. It's fun to get gifts, isn't it? And unless there's a receiver, you're just someone standing there holding a box. So in this case, I'm standing here holding a book, and I want to give you something, but in order to give something, I need you to receive it. So whatever your gift is, are you interested in receiving a gift this morning? Yeah. That sound like fun? Because I'm interested in receiving something from you too, so that we're co-creating something. That's how this works, right? Or else I could just be standing in my living room talking. And I love to talk just because I have a mouth sometimes. So we're in agreement. Are we in agreement? Yeah. You're going to give something to me, and I'm going to receive it, and I'm going to give something to you, and you will receive it. Yeah. Cool? All right. This is a relationship that works. All right. So the highest truth that I've come to in my life so far, and I've spent quite a bit of my life looking for something, whether it be God or mostly for me, it's actually the idea of freedom. We keep looking. The highest truth that I've come to is live and let live. So far, that's the highest truth I've come to. I want to know myself. I want to reconcile myself. I want to live to my fullest. I want you to allow me to do that, and I want the same thing for you, and I just want to allow you to do that too. Save, there's one caveat in there, that I'm not hurting myself or anybody else, and that you're not hurting yourself or anybody else. So within that, fair game. Right? You just work on being the best expression of yourself that you possibly can, and I'm going to celebrate you, and I'm going to do the same thing, and I want you to celebrate me. And as soon as you start telling me I got to live a certain way, we're going to have an issue. And as soon as I start telling you you got to live a certain way, that's the thing for me about religion. We're not here to tell each other how to live. My truth is that we're simply here to encourage each other to live. You know what I mean? Not just live, live. And to encourage each other to do that. And so I have no answers for you today. What I have is my own truth that I've come to. And what you have is a willingness to grow, which is what I have as well. Because I promise you, I will gain as much or more from this experience today as you will. But I do not have your answer. Don't expect me to have it. That's painful. Okay? And you don't have mine. But what I have is my walk, and that's what I want to share with you. And then we can have some fun. We will always desire to gather in community. It's part of the human condition. To gather together, to break bread, to pray, to talk, to tell stories, to celebrate each other, to share, and to listen. It's one of the beautiful things about the human condition, is to gather together in community. But as soon as we start expecting someone else to have our answer, that's just set up for failure. And it's interesting in the human condition, we look for that. Where's my answer? Where's my answer? Who's got it? Who's got it? And we don't spend enough time with the person, the only person that has the answer, which is yourself. Is the only person that has your answers. Do you understand? Whatever your question is, your therapist does not have the answer. We want somebody else to have the answer because it's almost like there's some subtle way that we can release accountability for our lives. But the life best lived is when we take full accountability for it. You understand? That's the life best lived, when you actually wrap your arms around your particular brand of crazy and say, this is who I am. I'm just going to be it. And to not try and not be crazy. Because you are. And the person next to you is. And you're going to be a lot happier and more peaceful when we can reconcile that. Say, I'm crazy. And they are too. And that's just the way it's supposed to be. It's the way it's supposed to be. Just reconcile your crazy. Reconcile it and say, this is who I am. You've got quirks. You're supposed to. They're actually not quirks. They're just you. The individuals who will earnestly turn and give their attention to their I am presence with feeling, determined feeling, will soon find all mistakes ceasing from their lives. Bold, bold, bold. This is why we have pled. The more I read this, the more the words are so appropriate. This is why we have pled, please, for the love of God. That's not in the book, but that's like pleading, right? For Christ's sake, please. And implored students for years to come to an anchorage in the light of their own wondrous presence. Now, the first question is, do you believe you're a wondrous presence? That is the entirety. Do you? Yes. Are you saying that in spite of anything, or do you just really believe it? You know what I mean? Someone told me I was supposed to, so I'm going to. Rather than it being the way that it is. That everybody in here is a wondrous presence. And life can just be this magnificent dance of everybody reconciling themselves, moving through life, being their wondrous presence, and living and just let live. Like it becomes a show. It becomes a show, Michael. Where everybody's being their particular brand of crazy, being their wondrous presence, and we all just kind of watch. Eating popcorn. Wow, that's rad. Look at them living. Not, oh, why are they shining their light so bright? Or, oh, look how they do that. Or, why do they do it that way? Or, whatever's smallness within us that wants to make other people small. Rather than, wow, look at that brand of crazy. Isn't that something? Holy. They're nuts. And you know that the craziest people amongst us are the ones that have provided most for our evolution in human consciousness. The craziest amongst us, right? Here's the thing about when you're really crazy is you don't know it. The real crazy people don't know that they're crazy. They're just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Man, too much self-awareness is a detriment. Do you understand? Just too much being aware of yourself. You get a sniff of yourself, and you're just too aware of yourself and like, oh, maybe I'm being a little too crazy today. What are they going to think about me? And then what happens? Shut down. The individuals who will earnestly turn and give their attention to their I am presence, and only you know what your I am presence is. Only you know what your I am presence is. Not the book, not the minister, not the anybody. You know, you're the only one that knows what your I am presence is. And it's not like God is already figured out. God is nothing, it is not figured out, and there's no end game. God is not figured out, and there's no end game. You get to co-create with the thing that first breathed life into it, whenever that happened on the scale of time, on the arc of time, that happened some time ago. God's work is done. Now it's up to us to embrace our own I am presence and live. That's all that the spiritual path is. It's not forsaking our humanity, it's embracing it. It's a full embrace of everything that's carnal. Say carnal. It's embracing it. It's embracing sensuality. It's not living in spite of it or trying to get away from it. It's embracing it. You're a human being. Stop trying to not be. That's not the point of the spiritual path, is to not be a human being. It's to be fully a human being. Fully a human being. Don't run away from heartbreak. Run toward it because it means you're alive. The theme of the month is a time to appreciate everything. And when I first saw that, I was like, this community's lost their mind. There is not one time that I've appreciated everything. When I was sick last week, losing 12 pounds over 5 days because I just couldn't, something was going on inside of me. I didn't sit down and say, this is fun. Man, I'm appreciating the heaven out of this. Woo! Having a good time. And then I fully looked at it after I reacted, and it's a time to appreciate everything. It's hard to appreciate heartbreak in the middle of heartbreak, but always there's a seed in the midst of heartbreak that's made my life better, and yours too. But not in the middle of it. Oh, yeah, she dumped me. Woo! Right? Woo, I'm sick. This is awesome. I love it. Maybe an ascended master. I don't know. Maybe there's 1 or 2 people on the planet that can do that. Maybe. I don't know. But as human beings, we feel stuff, and that's part of the path. That's part of it. We're supposed to. Feeling mad is not spiritual. Did I say that right? It's a good thing to feel mad from time to time. Heartbreak is part of the path. Embrace it. Joy is part of the path. Embrace it. Reflect on it. What's in it? What's the seed that's there? That's your I am presence. It's your story. Bogar was here a couple of weeks ago, right? Yeah. Talked about soul making, of course, because that's what he's all about, is soul making. Mike Bogar's a stud, isn't he? Yeah. Stud. Taught a lot of my classes going through the School of Ministry. I'm like, I'm glad to be learning from this guy, soul making. There's nothing determined. And we're dead if we think there is. What's determined already? And that's why it says in here, predetermined or already figured out. It says in here, the individuals who will earnestly turn and give their attention. That's the greatest gift you have. That's the money maker right there. That's the lotto ticket, attention. That's mama's milk. The individuals who will earnestly, by the way, talk, what's it called when we the talk story? Also known as testifying. Testifying. The individuals who will earnestly turn and give their attention to their I am presence, which is not predetermined. It's for you to make with your soul, with feeling, with determined feeling. Not like it looks like up here, because I get the juices going and talk with some passion, but you know what it feeling is. It can be subtle inside of you. It's a feeling. You can create feeling. And feeling and attention create gravity. And the more gravity something has, the more what it has. That's right. Gravitational pull, it's got more attraction. Feeling and attention create gravity, and gravity draws things unto itself. With determined feeling, there's a reason in here it says with determined feeling, not with just feeling, because in a full embrace of the human condition, it takes determination sometimes. Determination in the face of something to wield, to blacksmith, to use our attention to chisel out a life that we love, and when it's not working and it doesn't seem to be flowing in the direction that we want it to stop and not just go with that flow, but with determined feeling, paint a new picture. We'll soon find all mistakes ceasing from their lives. That's bold, it's beautiful, it's an extraordinary promise. Ernest Holmes put it like this: I'm forgetting. Something to the effect of, it's in the statement of what we believe. Anybody have what we believe in front of us? That as we practice, we are assured through the teachings of the science of mind. We are assured the eradication of all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. To even to have that thought or that awareness, to have the awareness, the relationship with life that all mistakes will cease, that I am promised through my attention being put on the light and the I am presence, that wondrous presence that lives inside of me, that these masters, these individuals that took the time to meditate and pray and contemplate the nature and the truth of life to say, all mistakes shall cease, and that all discord of every nature is sure to be eradicated, and this goal is to be attained by all, is profound. And then it's up to you. That's the entire walk of the spiritual path. It's not to get someplace. Have you ever noticed that you thought you got someplace and then you weren't there anymore? It's going to keep happening. Because you can be there for a moment and then you're not there anymore. Joy is an eternal truth, but in the human condition, fleeting. Darkness is fleeting. What remains and what is true is you. Wherever you go, there you are. And to embrace the feeling of it, to embrace it all, to embrace the challenges, a time to embrace the challenges, a time to embrace the joy. Don't try and not be a human being in the spiritual path. Embrace it, be it, enjoy all of it. Enjoy what wine tastes like, for Christ's sake. Drink it all. Is there more spiritual to somebody that doesn't drink than that does drink, or vice versa? Is somebody that's vegan more holy than someone that eats a big old piece of steak? And what's our judgment about it? Right? I'm vegan. That means I'm bad. I'm holy. I'm fasting for 10 days. Got a headache and it hurts like hell, but I'm fasting. My breath smells like poop, but I'm fasting. I'm bad. Why is that more holy? You're holy because you fast? Give me a break. You're holy because you say you're holy. You embrace your holiness. You embrace your holiness, that wondrous presence. This is why we have pled and implored students. I'm imploring you today. I'm pleading with you. I'm pleading with myself. Embrace the students for years to come to an anchorage in the light of their own wondrous presence. So I ask you again, can you believe that you are a wondrous presence? All the time. You're not answering for me. That you are a wondrous presence is an eternal truth, unbreakable, can never be dissolved, disappeared, or disintegrated, ever. And as a human being, sometimes we're in it, we're aware of it, sometimes we're not. But a time to appreciate everything. Can you appreciate who you are in all the ways that you're made up? You appreciate your heart. Do you appreciate that you're sensitive? That you feel? Sharon, earlier, there's this stupid Travelers Insurance commercial that's on the television. Stupid, but it's awesome. I mean, it works on me every single time. I haven't bought Travelers Insurance yet, but it works on me. There's this dad and this little girl, and the first scene is this girl is a toddler, and she falls and skins her knee, and who's right there to wipe the tears from her face? Or her dad. The second scene is, put her on speakerphone. Let's all have some fun. Let's all talk. Just kidding. The second scene is the girl, now a little bit older, falls off her bike. And who's there to wipe? Dad's right there. Always by that second scene, the eyes are already welling up. I cry every stinking time this commercial comes on, every single time. Third scene, daughter's going away to college, looks over at her dad, she's bawling. Dad walks, I'm not crying on cue. You know what I mean? I can't do that. And I cried at the exact same spot during the first thinking service. Gal looks over, there's dad. She's about to go away from college. She's bawling, looks at dad. Next scene. Daughter's getting married. First dance, dad and daughter. Who's crying now? Dad. Who's there to wipe his tears away? There she is, right? I mean, everybody seen that commercial? No? No TV watchers in here? The holy people! The holy people, I found them. The non-TV watchers. Start watching TV. Come on. There are good commercials. There are good shows. Watch television, for Christ's sake. Every time this commercial gets me. And you know what? I love it about myself. I'm crying at some dumb commercial, but it gets me. You know what I mean? I got a 5-year-old daughter. She was just born yesterday. What the hell? I mean, I don't know that commercial. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, that commercial's for me, right? So being a dad is part of my soul making. I'm sensitive. I mean, I think about my daughter and I just can cry. I love that about myself. Can you think of the things that maybe someone might have made fun of you about and say, I love that about myself? Can you think of the things that maybe aren't readily embraced by the world and say, I love that about myself? Because you can train the world how to treat you. Train the world how to treat you. It takes determination. It takes grit. It takes a tremendous amount of courage to fully embrace. See, for so long, I just thought that people on the spiritual path, you try and like pretend that you don't feel anymore. Oh, it's all good. Bull crap. It's all good. I love to cuss. I'm just doing everything I can up here to kind of even tone it down a little bit. I love it. I don't know, there's Sunday mornings and we're not, there's a certain way to be, but God, if I ever start my own church again, we are going to cuss. On Sunday mornings. Because there's holiness in cussing as well. Telling you, I'm reconciling my life. It feels good. Sometimes there's this, like a strategic strike cuss, and then sometimes there's a carpet bomb cuss. And both feel really good. Oh, the spiritual path isn't supposed to look like anything. It's not supposed to look like anything. I really want you to hear that. Don't try and get holy. It's a painful path. It's a painful path to try and get holy. What I've come to is just to embrace yourself, because you're supposed to be crazy. You're supposed to be weird. Weird is a blessing. Yes, you are. It's my brother-in-law. We know you are. That's how it's supposed to be. The walk of the spiritual path is just to reconcile ourselves, and by reconciling ourselves, it's just to embrace ourselves. Embrace yourself. Right how you are. Right how I am. I'm a minister that loves to cuss. That doesn't work for everybody. Works for me. I'm not going to stop cussing. I love living with the chip on my shoulder. It helps me be determined when I need to be. I love the feeling of getting angry sometimes. It juices me up. It makes me act. It makes me feel bold. It's okay. I just want to offer you this morning to just be who you are and embrace your wondrous presence exactly the way it is. And those that embrace your particular brand of crazy will gravitate to you. And those that don't let them go. Let them fly. Let them travel. They're going to have their other brand of crazy to interact with, and then don't judge them. They've just found their community. They've just found their people. And you have your people. You're crazy, will interact with other people's crazy, and you're home when everybody's celebrating each other. Not when they're telling you, don't do it like that, try it like this. You're not home when that's happening. You're in some foreign territory, and you don't have to subject yourself to it and try and chisel yourself into someone else's idea of who you're supposed to be. You're supposed to celebrate yourself and live it and embrace it and jump for joy that you are that way. I am this way. Thank you, God. I am this way. Thank you, life, that I am this way. It's not supposed to work for everybody. It's supposed to work for you. That's it. That's it. That's what I've come to. That's the truth I've come to. If you don't want to hug somebody, don't hug them. Just because you come to a center for spiritual living doesn't mean you're automatically part of the hug party. If you don't want to hug, don't hug. It's not like a requisite for being in here. You know what? Just be who you are. Embrace yourself. Love yourself. Michael's telling me to shut up. I'm just kidding. I don't think you could form those words, could you? Yes, young man, do you have a question? Just kidding. I know, I'm being naughty. So let's just take a moment and kind of just something. So, if anything that I could bless you with today is please plead with you to embrace your wondrous presence, your unique you. And know that exactly the way it is, it's okay. And if upon self-reflection is so important. If upon self-reflection you find that there's something, a way of being that you're not particularly pleased with, then you go to work blacksmithing yourself to change that. If you're aware that you really want to be generous, but you were stingy in that moment, just go into the lab of your own heart and work it out so that you're more generous. To embrace your wondrous presence, your wondrous way of being, your great I am, with determination, with grit, with guts, with courage. Find yourself in uncomfortable situations so that you know you're alive, so you know that you're growing. If life is too comfortable, it's time to mix it up. Feel afraid and then go. Move. The point of the spiritual walk isn't to not be afraid. It's to not feel. It's to embrace it, to love it, to reconcile yourself, to feel it. Be selfish enough to embrace your wondrous presence, and I promise you, out of your determined selfishness is birthed a selflessness that feels peaceful and light and easy and joyful. You're not taxed, you're not burdened, you're alive. There are gonna be times that are hard. That's just the way it is. There are gonna be times that are easy. It's just the way it is. There are gonna be times when it's dark, times when it's light, times when you're sad, times when it's joyful, times for everything. And in the midst of all of it, embrace your wondrous presence. Grateful to be with you this morning, and I've already received the gift that you have for me. And I pray that as a butterfly with sore feet, a blessing lands upon you today that changes you forever. Amen. Thanks for allowing me to be with you today. I'm very grateful. Thank you. Thank you.